Hey crafty travelers, it is January 17th. We arrived here at St. Jorege Winery in Acompa, California yesterday and spent the night. It's a harvest host, so we got to do some wine tasting and sampling yesterday, and we also got to interview and meet Janice and Vernon, the owners. Very wonderful people. Vernon gave us a great interview about some of his life and how and why and when he started this winery. So here you go. Here's the video. Enjoy. A little pond back here in back of St. Jorege Winery. So we're going to be having a little serenade from the frogs tonight.
Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun, the feeling we chase. I'm wide awake, take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive.
Arriving at 22769 North Bender Road on the left.
Wherever we go, we're taking control. The future is ours now. The road never ends. It's me and my friends. These are the good times.
We are at a harvest host in Acoma, California, to St. Jorege Winery. Going in to do a little wine tasting and view the area. Beautiful Spanish archway as you enter into the courtyard. And here's the beautiful fountain. Look around the courtyard. They have different rooms for different events and statues. Ooh, lemon tree. is Andrea, and she's going to tell us all about St. George Winery. Go.
Hi, well, welcome. We're at St. George Winery. We're a Portuguese winery. We have a lot of Portuguese varietals here. So today you're doing your regular wine tasting of what we have. It features a rosé, a white, and 4 of our reds, 3 of which are a Portuguese varietal. So as you see on our menu that I provided right here, we have gold stars for your tasting. So the first one is our Vino Corte Rosa. That is our rosé. So you're going to start with your pink on your left-hand side, and then as you work your way down on the menu with the gold stars, you're going to keep following it right in order until you end with our last red, which is our Cabernet Sauvignon. And that is our tasting today, and that is how it works.
Thank you very much. Anything else you can tell me about the winery? How long has it been here?
The winery was here in 2009. It was built by our owner, who is Portuguese. His family was on this land for many years, and they actually have their home right on the other side of this winery. And he was actually a contractor, and still is for the longest time. And he decided around retirement that he wanted to build a winery. And so we did, and since then, this is what it has developed into.
It's beautiful, and I'm going to take a walk around the grounds a little later.
Oh, please. It's absolutely gorgeous out
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Snickers is with us at the winery. They allow dogs outside. In fact, the owners have a nice little Welsh Terrier, but my Snickers is able to be here with us. No, you sit. Snickers, sit. Sit. Snickers likes to come to wineries because he gets treats. Hello, this is Bern Vieira, and he's owner and winemaker.
Winemaker of St. George Winery. And I've been on this property since I was 8 years old, and I moved up here with my family. We moved our dairy up from Hanford, where I was born. And so I have a lot of memories here. We were in the dairy business, but we did not grow grapes. But my grandfather made wine every year, Portuguese, and we always made, it was a social event, and we always made wine with him, and we went out into the vineyards and picked the grapes when I was a kid. My first earliest memories of drinking wine when I was 4 years old. And why do I know I was 4? Because I knew the area and the experience that I had. And so they gave us a fresh little glass of the juice that was coming off of the wine press. And we never really had fruit drinks or fruit punch like that ever growing up, so it was kind of an interesting.
So it really wasn't wine yet, it was just grape juice.
It was just grape juice. And so, what a wonderful experience.
Yes.
We had orange trees and we made orange juice, but we never went to the store. My folks, we raised all of our own food. And okay, so 4 years old, and the kid I ended up sneaking down into the cellar and sampling that good fruit, nice sweet drink that I experienced the day we were pressing or crushing. Anyway, so about the end of the week or 7 days later, it really started to get less sweet, but even better, it was carbonated from the CO2, and it's almost tasting like soda pop. However, it had alcohol. And I remember at the dinner table one evening, it must have been about that time when it was fermenting, because I ended up, my dad scolded me for leaving the hose off the barrel when I was sampling. So it didn't leak out, it was just that he knew I was sneaking it. He said, "This wine is ready and is part of our meal. The wine down in the cellar, don't touch that because it's not ready yet." But We were raised to respect wine, and it was just part of our life. The most of I remember being around the winemaking because the grown-ups were very happy. It was a social event, and being part of that social event. And so when my dad would buy and sell a cow or make a business deal, he always sat down at the table and brought the wine out, maybe some olives and salami, linguiça, whatever it was. We always had a little bit of wine, and it kind of began to open up a relationship when he was negotiating a business deal. So we ended up, that's kind of a tradition that I have now.
Neat.
So we move up here in 1954, so now I'm dating myself. We start the dairy, and we were surrounded by vineyard, and there were a lot of old wineries in the area, and so we became acquainted, and he began making wine up here, and we continued on that, and then he passed away. Him and I made wine the last year he was alive. He never got to drink it, and after he passed away, I kind of got into beer making, and I never stuck with the wine until one day I was picking up my beer supplies in Berkeley, and the owner of the shop had this Zambella pressure destemmer. He had wine supplies too, but this pressure destemmer caught my eye. It was all stainless, very bright, and I inquired. He said, "Well, it's actually for sale." I had a customer order it, and he never took it, and I'll make you a great deal. So he did, and I came home. I left the beer supplies, came home with, it was about July, August, so it was coming up with the wine harvest, and it was a perfect timing. And so I got back into the wine business, but unlike how I was raised, it ended up being a lesson for me, because I usually jumped in and learned a lot more. I knew that the equipment we had in the old days was not.
Come on in, Janice. This is his wife, Janice. That's me, crafty traveler.
I love it.
So,
They
well,
always love the winemaker, no matter what.
well, I love you too because you're so gracious.
Oh, well,
And you came right out and met us and told us where to park and greeted us. That's perfect.
How long have you guys been members of Purpose?
About 2 years.
Yeah, it's like boomed with, and we love it.
So when did you start the winery?
That's a good question. So after acquiring my Zambella pressure destemmer, I ended up starting to make wine again. Well, I'm the kind of person that really digs into education and learning, and I read every book that I possibly could. I began to make homemade wine, and my family and friends really encouraged me over the years that I was doing well, and one day they thought that maybe I should open up a winery. Well, I was doing well in the construction business and never really wanted to have something else going on, but I had this back part of my folks' ranch. We had a walnut orchard, and I wanted to put in a new office for my construction business. So it kind of developed into something, and then I kicked around the idea of maybe sharing that office with a winery, and then of course I shared that dream with Janice, my wife, and she really liked it because she was retiring from PG&E, and then we ended up, she said, well, you got to have a tasting room, and you got to showcase and have events and things like that. So she knew what to do to promote the winery. So we got county approval, and in 2005 I got the approval, and then I built the first building, which is behind you, in 2007-8, and then I built the tasting room in 2009 and opened up in August of 2009. So we've been around 12 years.
Yeah, nice.
But I didn't want to open up with somebody else's wine. We started producing wine here in 2008 in the production building, but it wouldn't have been ready in 2009. But I did make wine and bought grapes and did custom fresh in Crystal Valley under Mitch Constantino's winery in Lockford. So I used their lab and all of that. We made some really good Tempranillo, Zinfandel, and a Verdelho. So 2007 we had wine and it was ready. When we opened up in 2009, I just had the 3 wines. Now I'm dealing with the general public and communication, friendship. You know, I would have people come from all over the world to those doors of that tasting room, and they were always in a good mood.
Of course.
You know, it wasn't like the construction business where, you know, you can't please everybody, and it's pretty intense sometimes. The wine business is wonderful. I meet people like you. You guys tell me your story, you hear my story, and at the end of the day, when you visit, you compliment me on the wines. So it's a great business to be in. But the people you meet and the friendship you have.
That's great.
It's just amazing.
It is. And every winery we've gone to, we feel the same way. I haven't gone to a bad winery yet.
Yeah, you know.
Well, now you produce Portuguese wine, Portuguese
So,
grapes.
There you go. So, you know, being raised in California, I really wasn't raised in Portuguese wines necessarily, but Janice and I made a number of trips back to Europe and Portugal, and I was really interested in doing and following our Portuguese tradition, and so we ended up looking into planting and developing the Portuguese varietals, and then making cords. We have all these Portuguese varietals.
Well,
We have a little bit
the
of
the
Italian.
wine tasting I just did was delicious. I'm a more of a Cabernet person, but I really like the Lonnie Syrah. My name is Lonnie, and that's grown a different place, right?
That's Amador, 1,800-foot elevation.
Oh, okay. I want to thank you, Vern, for let me do this interview and to go look at your beautiful winery and allowing us to stay in your parking lot for the night. I appreciate it so much.
I know, as you know, I could spend 2 hours.
I know you could, but that's okay.
All right.
Thanks so much. Sunset with all the frogs. As the sun sets and the frogs sing, we're going to say thank you to Vern and Janice Vieira at their lovely winery and say goodnight. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of my viewers. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. There are many videos to come on this Desert Trip 2022. Thank you for watching. Please comment, share, give me a thumbs up, and of course, stay crafty when visiting St. George Winery.